Hello, everyone. So, today we're going to talk about mechanical watches, a brief overview of the inner workings. I have worked with Sumer on this project, and my name is Adi. So, we'll continue on this.
Topics covered. We will be looking into the history of early watches, how these mechanical watches came into existence, the working principle behind it, and how the mechanical physics works behind all the dials. Fashion evolution, social outcome, disadvantages, and innovative solutions as to what more can be improved in these watches to make them more modernized.
So, we first take a look at the history of the early watches. In early 1500s, there was a locksmith by the name of Peter Heinlein that first started making these watches in Nuremberg, Germany. So the first production of these watches came out of European countries, and they were used mainly, in the hand, or they were worn around the neck by a chain. And the speciality of these watches was it led to the creation of people keeping a track of time. And the special feature that this watch had that compared to other watches was it only had one hand, and that was the hand for the hours. So it could only track the number of hours in a day. So that was kind of a special feature. So next we look at the invention of the mechanical watch. The mechanical watch was first invented in 1510, again by Peter Heinlein in Germany, and it had three different type of mechanisms that we now know about watches. For the first mechanism is the old school traditional method, and it's called the mechanical system. So during this time, there was a small metal knob called the crown that was twisted, and that would generate power, which would be contained in the mainspring, and then that power would be released through these gears, and that would power the watch, and it would help the time to tick, which is basically the hours hand that would be ticking each and every hour. The automatic mechanism came late in the 1700s. It took a similar approach to the original mechanical system, but it had a self-winding system compared to us manually winding it. And then now the third mechanism is the latest and the modern type, which is called the quartz mechanism, and it's run through a battery, and it's an electrical feature of the watch. So that's what they currently use in watches. So now we'll take a look at the working principles of the mechanical watch. So it's a four-step process. So it starts at the first step with the crown assembly. This is the part that is visually, you can see it from the exterior of the watch. It is the only point of contact, and it does have like a winding stem that enables us to like manually turn. Additionally, it is connected to the motion works, which enables the adjustment completely for the movement of the watch, and it also allows like manual winding, which is basically the power that goes into the mainspring for it to charge for the watch. The second step would be the mainspring. This is the second part of the watch. Very important, very important element for the watch. Overall, it is a thin, long metal strip that is coiled in a spring structure. It's contained within the barrel. It's got a central winding pinion that helps it to like kind of twist it only in one direction, and all the momentum is kind of put into the barrel, which it stores all the power for it to power the watch. So basically, everything is stored inside the barrel. Then we look at the step 3, which is the dial, gear, or wheel train. You can call it either or. It's basically a gear that works behind the scenes of the watch. So this is an interlocking mechanism that helps the mainspring and the central axle of the watch, which helps the timekeeping hands to kind of like move and tick in motion. Additionally, like the central wheel helps the mainspring to kind of rotate this, and the third and the fourth wheel, which is there inside, which is right next to the mainspring, it helps the minutes hand to kind of tick and keep a track of the minutes as well. The central axle helps all the gears run with the synthetic jewels to kind of reduce friction in the watch, so that there's a longevity, and the watch can, you can turn it for a long time and use it for a long period, or many years in this case. The fourth step would be an escapement mechanism. This is the last part of the watch or working for the watch, and we take a look at it in terms of like force transfers from mainspring to the gears, and the rotation of the wheel that causes the push on the pallet force. And this flicks the section of from the wheel barrel, and the hairspring keeps the entire motion into place. And in the end, the motion works helps to, release this information to the watch, and then it starts to tick. So motion works is the last element or the last part for working. So that's about it for working principles for the mechanical watch. Thank you.
The cost of making these mechanical watches can range from 100 to $100,000 and above. It all depends on the features that has been requested and the quality of materials and the products that go into making these watches. Now, when we look into the evolution of fashion, the first thing that comes in mind is time elegance. Now, time elegance is often characterized by intrinsic or intricate movements of the dials. A lot of people really love how these watches move, and they look at the gears changing. The second is vintage. There are people who hold special place for such watches, and they come up as a collector's edition. Now, skeleton watches. If you are a mechanical watch enthusiast, you really want a skeleton watch which shows everything, and it is a transparent see-through watch where you can watch all the gears rotate and the watch uh, being alive. Dress watches. Now, dress watches are customized to match the fit and clothing. These come at a very higher price because they are tailor made for you. Driver's watch. A driver's watch is a blend of function and fashion. So, these are mostly for people in the white collar jobs. Now, on next we have limited edition watches, and these are done based on collaborations with other products, such as you have a McLaren watch. Now, this doesn't mean that the company McLaren makes a watch, it means they have collaborated with a company that makes mechanical watches to give them their design. Now, artistry in watches. Mechanical watches have such good artistic capabilities that are being featured by these designers who make excellent design watches. Social outcome and daily life change. These watches, they come with status and prestige as they do not come off cheap. Tradition and heritage is developed over a period of time. Collector communities, these guys love collecting vintage watches. And mechanical watches are a great conversation starters if you're a mechanical watch enthusiast. Gifts and sentimental value. I would love for someone to gift me this watch. Yes, these watches hold very precious value when you gift it to someone. Watch enthusiast clubs, they have all these display boxes where a numerous variety of mechanical watches are displayed. If you love artistry, you're going to love the craftsmanship and appreciate these mechanical watches. Disadvantages faced. When it comes to these watches, inaccuracy is an issue. It requires regular maintenance. It's not durable as they do not have any shock absorption. They have a limited power reserve. They only last about 42 to 74 hours. They do not come with water resistant as maintenance of these parts require them to be opened and closed. The cost, yes, they are not cheap and they range from again 100 to 100,000. And since these watches are made by hand, they come with limited features, and that I think is a drawback. Talking about innovative solutions, the first thing that can be improved in these watches is precision movements by giving it more accuracy. Uh, as we talked in the disadvantage slide, it also needs longer power reserves. Um, Durability features such as water resistant, shock absorption, and use of advanced materials like carbon is necessary so that there is no wear and tear. Customization. Now, these watches should come with customization features, more modular. For example, where you can quickly swap out the straps or change the dial to match your outfit. Smart features. Now, when we talk about smart features, this watch should include features that are built in the strap to track your movements, the steps you take, and also other features such as getting text messages, etc. Now, sustainability. Talking about sustainability, features such as energy efficient, eco friendly, and green manufacturing should be involved in making these watches.
Okay, so let's take a look at the summary of the project for Mechanical Watch. So the Mechanical Watch was first designed in 1510 by Peter Heinlein. They used copper alloys and aluminium alloys to make these mechanical watches, such as aluminium, brass, copper, gold, silver, etc. Modern times use titanium or any aluminum based alloys such as silicon or liquid metal as well. The mainspring is the main element that helps power the entire device, and it helps to keep a track with the timekeeping hands based on the hours and the minutes. The cost of making depends on the kinds of materials used. The better the materials used, the more expensive the watch. If you're using precious metals like gold and silver, the cost of the watch is going to be higher compared to stainless steel and other alloys. It has been, and if you look at the modernization and the tailor, it has given a range of different kind of designs and a lot of varieties from various products. Various brands have offered it, and a lot of good watch companies like Rolex or like Omega or Tag Heuer. So these are the companies that make these watches. It also lacks basically some kind of durability and smart features that are currently based on like an Apple Watch doesn't have. Like your tracking of your heart rate or any steps tracking or any kind of monitoring that is not done. Additionally, any innovation or smart features that can be added to this watch, I believe that's an innovative solution that we offer. And especially in the age of technology and AI, we're trying to incorporate that to build a better watch with the mechanical functions in, so that it can have accuracy in terms of the timekeeping hands, as well as it monitors and tracks your everyday movements, and it helps you live a better life. So the invention of the watch itself was to keep track of time, and this is a little summary from what we've got to learn from this presentation. So let's take a look at the references that we've used. I've used Animagraph for all the animations. We've used Ben's Watch Club, Jack Mason's brand, Europe Star, Gold FM, Medium article, and then the watch company for our data that we've used in this. So finally, we have ended the presentation with a quote from one of my favorite rappers, Drake. It says, "This is really not a stopwatch. It don't ever stop." So have a nice time.